Good morning, Flare family. How we doing? Hopefully everyone's having a great morning or evening, depending on where you are in this wonderful world that we live in. I did this video last night and I realized that I didn't have the volume engaged once I checked some comments. And so thanks for the feedback, apologies. And I wanted to quickly get another one up before the day got started. And while my energy level is right. Anyway, thanks for your subscribers. Really, channel has grown quite a bit, and I appreciate everyone's comments and feedback, and also subscriptions and things of that nature. So continue if you would, if the content is valuable, to like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. Nice fun journey here on Flare and Songbird. So anyway, so I wanted to start with. I also noticed yesterday I made another mistake in that I was talking about wrapping and delegating, but I didn't have the screen actually up. So actually it was karma. I needed to make sure that this was redone anyway. So here we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about wrapping, delegating, staking, liquid staking, and then we'll go from there, guys. All right. So first of all, let's jump into. Currently, what you see on my screen should be the sceptre liquid staking. We're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about the process of wrapping or delegating. Let's go over to the app.flareoracle.io, which is a great app. I love this app. There's a number of reasons why I like it, but the process of wrapping is pretty simple. You can do it in the Bifrost wallet, which if you have Bifrost, I don't have this integrated, unfortunately, but if you have Bifrost, you're going to, you're essentially going to go to Flare. You're going to hit the dots. There's those dots up there on the right hand corner, I guess would be. And then you're going to hit Delegate, the word Delegate. Once you hit Delegate, or excuse me, the word Wrap. I'm sorry about that, guys. The word Wrap, you're going to hit Wrap. Once you hit Wrap, then you're going to identify the number that you're going to wrap. So we're going to do this on screen where you can see the app.flareoracle.io. You would just identify the amount of Flare you wanted to wrap, put the number in here, hit wrap. You'll get the confirmations that will come up. I'm doing this in MetaMask. Same thing will happen in Bifrost, but you'll get the confirmation in terms of how many you want to wrap. You sure? There's a transaction fee. We'll approve or confirm the transaction fee, which I'm doing right now in my MetaMask wallet. And once that happens, we will have an additional wrapped Flare. You can see right now I have 3.31 wrapped Flare. And you'll see that I'll have one wrapped Flare once that happens. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap our Flare after we buy them. If we buy them on an exchange, we're going to wrap them. We want to make sure we have them wrapped because we need to wrap them to delegate them and ultimately start earning our airdrops and start earning our delegation weekly rewards as well. So we want to wrap the Flare. You can use flare.app.flareoracle.io, or you can use FTSO.au. They have one as well. I'll switch over to their tab real quick. Same thing with them. It's just a matter of just identifying how much you want to wrap. Put the number in, hit wrap, right? Pretty simple, pretty easy. Let me go back over to flare.oracle or flareoracle.io. So anyway, so now we've got that Flare wrapped. It's wrapped. So let's go back to the dashboard, and I was showing this yesterday as well, why I like this app. This app has the dashboard. It has the overview of how many are wrapped right now. So I've got 3 Flare wrapped. It gives you the balance overview. Shows you who I currently am delegating to and any rewards associated with that. You can also set it up to auto claim your rewards. There is a fee, but you can set it up to auto claim your rewards. If you were to just press that button right there, I can go on auto claim. I am going to not auto claim right now, but my son, for example, who has Flare and SGB, I have him set up to auto claim. That way I don't have to remind him a couple times a week to go in and claim his delegation rewards. But the other thing I like about this, again, here, it shows you the FTSO metrics, the top 4, and it also shows you the one if you're in it as well. So over here, you can see at EDP FTSO, lead instruments are 1 and 2, and then it shows you the one that you've got it delegated to, so you can see where you are in relation to the top 5. Mine is 3 right now, and we'll look at this in a second. And and then it shows you the epoch where you are on the epoch. And there's some other flare drop status and things of that nature. But I like this because at a quick glance, I can see where am I in relation to the top FTSOs that are paying reward rates. If I want to figure out, and I did a video on this as well, if I want to figure out how I can find a better one, I can go over to the FTSO metrics. And this is also how I would determine who I want to delegate to. FTSO metrics, you click on suggested. Actually, it comes automatically with suggested, recommended. But there's also, you can sort also by reward rate, but suggested will tell you, okay, here goes one of the top paying ones here. So you got Lena Instruments. I pay attention to vote power, make sure I'm under 2.5%, because after that, they start being diminished. There's a diminishing return once you're over 2.5% for vote power. Pay attention to the fee. So in this case, they're paying a reward rate of 0.039. They're at 2.29%. The fee is 20%. I typically would look down, look for a cheaper fee. This is the fee that you pay the FTSO when you delegate to them, because your reward rate is there's a 15% case in this case, a 15% fee that they charge you. But you can see the reward rate is 0.037. Their vote power is 2.4%. The fee is only 15%. So this is why I selected them out of the suggested ones. You can also sort this by reward rate. And then you can see who the top ones are paying by reward rate. So EDP FTSO is paying 0.04 reward rate. Their vote power is 2.64%. Their fee is 20%. So to me, they're over the 2.5% threshold. So I wouldn't delegate there. I'd go down and look at the next one, which is Lena. Lena's at a 20% fee, but they're under 2.5%. And then there's Eternity, which is at 2.4, and their fee is only 15%. So this is why I selected Eternity. And eventually, enough people will start delegating the reward, their WFLR to Eternity, and then they'll exceed 2.5%, and they'll go look for another one. But you can see some of them 25%, 20%. Look at the vote power. This is how I determine who I delegate to. And again, I have another video on that, so I won't go too far into that anymore. But essentially, if you wanted to delegate, in the app, you just select who you want to delegate to. You can determine what percent you wanted to delegate to the new FTSO. There's also a lever right here that you can move here to. You can have up to 2, so you can do 50-50 if you wanted to. All right. And then you would just simply hit delegate, and you'll get a confirmation box. Again, the same works whether you're in Bifrost Wallet or if you're in MetaMask. It's the same process. Hit delegate, confirmation comes up. There you go. Okay. So this is app.flareoracle.io. I use them. If I don't use the Bifrost wallet, I'll use them to wrap. I'll use them to delegate and claim. I'll use them to keep a track of the FTSO metrics to make sure I'm delegating to the highest and the best to maximize my rewards. So this is the wrapping and the delegating process. Pretty simple. We want to wrap. We want to delegate in order to get those delegation rewards twice a week on Flare and Songbird. Up here, you can see you can change to the Songbird network, and the same thing. It's the same exact thing in Songbird, right? So if you have Songbird tokens, you can do the same thing with Songbird. So we want to wrap, we want to delegate, and if we would like to, we have a couple different options for staking. This is FTSO app.ftso.au/wrap, but they on their app, and let me get you over here and show you that app. Okay, they have a staking tab, so you can wrap, you can delegate. They've got the same delegating options. You can claim your rewards and flare drops on this app, but you can also stake. So they have a staking tab. And if you go over to the get help mode, it will show you, they'll show you how to do it. Actually, it's right here. If you click on the circle, I don't want to lose that screen, but there's a tutorial on how to stake on their site. A little different. You've got to take and you've got to move your Flare tokens. First of all, when you stake, if you stake with anyone other than Sceptre, and I'm going to go over Sceptre, the liquid staking. But if you stake with anyone other than Sceptre, you're going to have to you're going to have to unwrap your tokens. They must be FLR tokens, not wrapped. So if you're going to stake, and you got to have a minimum of 50,000 Flare to stake with most of the validators, all of the validators rather, except for Sceptre. That's why I'm going to go over Sceptre in more detail. But if you have 50,000 FLR, they must be FLR. Flare runs on the C chain, but the staking happens on the P chain. So you can see here, I've got a lock, right? I've got Flare FLR tokens that are locked on the P chain that are being staked. But essentially what you'd have to do is you're going to have to first send those tokens from the C chain to the P chain. And again, there's tutorials on how to do this, more depths and more details that are out there as well on YouTube, but they also give you the step-by-step instructions right here on FTSO AU site. But you would by staking, you're going to choose same thing, very similar to what you had to do when you're delegating. You will find a validator. So there's a number of validators that are out there. You can see here, it tells you who the validator is, how long the stake is left, how much free stake or available tokens to be staked are still open on these different validators. And then you would select them. But first you have to send your tokens from the C chain to the P chain. Once you do that, and this is the cross chain way of doing that, by the way. As you can see right now, I only have 2.31 Flare tokens. So if I wanted to do that, I'd have to first put in the number of tokens that I want to send over to the P chain. And you can see here it says transfer P chain is the destination chain. So again, I got to go from C to P. So I put in the number of tokens that I want to send from C to P, and P chain is my destination chain. And then I'm going to hit confirm, and then I'm going to hit transfer. Once I do that, it's going to move those tokens over to the P chain. And once they get to the P chain, then I'll be able to go in and hit stake, find a validator by hitting change validator, find a validator, make sure there's enough time, and then that they've got some space available. And then I will then have the ability to hit stake. Like you can also either go with a max time frame of what's left for that delegator. As you can see, this delegator still has 74 days left, or you can do a minimum of 14 days. All right. So if you can do 14 days at minimum, or you can do max, whatever that delegator happens to have left, and then you hit stake. And you see it's telling me there's a minimum stake of 50K Flare FLR. So again, if you're going to stake outside of the sceptre or the liquid staking option, you're going to have 50,000, and they must be FLR. So if you got wrapped Flare, you have to unwrap them first. You're going to have to send them from the C chain to the P chain. You're going to have to find a validator. Once you find a validator, then you determine, do you want to go the max time that validator is still staking, or do you want to just go the minimum of 14 days, 15 days, whatever, and then you hit minimum, then you hit stake, and then it will give you a confirmation in your wallet. Same process can happen in the Bifrost wallet, same process as I'm doing right now on MetaMask. So this is the staking and the process of staking. There's a couple of different things as to some people I know are very confused. So why do I stake? Well, I delegate, I stake, I even have liquid staking. But I stake a lot of my tokens because that way I don't have to really worry about, and this is before liquid staking, but I don't have to worry about remembering whether or not I claim my weekly rewards and things of that nature. So I really liked the staking, but also staking has a higher APR, has a higher yield rate than delegating. It's typically about a 2-to-1 ratio, but that's only because right now there's not a lot of people that are truly staking. Once you get to about 30% of the tokens that are staked, it's going to be on par with delegating. But the network has to be secured. So I stake. My son stakes to these validators. We typically go out the max time frame, go to my calendar, set a reminder, come back the day before and same day, and then make sure I restake so that I don't leave them unstaked. Because if they go unstaked, remember they're FLR tokens. So if they go unstaked, then potentially I'm not going to earn airdrops or earn well, are certainly not earning any delegation rewards because they're not delegated. So it's important to set a reminder in your calendar if you do staking, long-term staking, to go back and go in and restake them again. But the APR is a little higher on staking right now, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I have a lot of my tokens staked. But Sceptre changes that. It changes that in a number of ways. So let's flip over and look at Sceptre. Let me make sure I'm sharing that tab. Sceptre is liquid staking. You don't have to have 50,000 tokens in order to stake your tokens and earn that APR. You don't have to have 50,000 tokens. You can have any number of FLR or any number of WFLR tokens to stake. When you do liquid staking, it's a pretty simple process. Just pay attention to make sure you connect your wallet, obviously, first of all. And I'll put this link in the description comments to Sceptre. But make sure you connect your wallet. Once your wallet's connected, you can see I'm already connected. But once your wallet's connected, it'll show you how much available to stake in FLR. If you have already, let's just say you have WFLR, it'll tell you how much available to stake you have in WFLR. Okay, so in this case, I've got FLR tokens. I got 6 of those. So if I wanted to do a liquid staking on, say, let's just say 2 of those. I'm going to put it in number 2, and then it's going to tell me how much I'm going to receive back, which is 1.99 sFLR. I hit stake. It'll come up, and it's going to ask me to confirm in my wallet. This is my Bifrost wallet, so it's going to ask me to confirm in my wallet. As you can see, it's saying confirm staking transaction. Now my Bifrost wallet pops up, and it says app.sceptrefy sending to Flare to the contract address for liquid staking. Then I got to go through and do a confirmation with my code. Transaction submitted. Now, waiting for the block. It's telling me, hey, staking successful. So now your FLR has now been staked, and your sFLR will start accruing value. So it's done. Now I have those 2 Flare tokens are now sFLR. Okay, so let's close this window. And you can see I had 6.6, and now those have been converted over to sFLR. I have more sFLR already that are already on there that I did liquid staking with. But you can see the estimated APY percentage is 49.25%. Let me tell you what makes that up here real quickly. Let me bring up another window. Give me a sec here, guys. I'll bring up another quick window and show you what makes up that. For that APY percentage. So that APY percentage, and I'm going to share this tab. This is the Oracle Daemon. Oracle Daemon is an FTSO provider. They're a validator as well. So this site that they've created with their app shows you the APR, APYs that you get from Flare drops. It shows you what the Flare delegating APR is, APY, and it shows you what the staking APR, APY is. I'm waiting for the site to load, so I'd like to show this to you, but I'll also leave this link in the description. But oracle-daemon.com is an FTSO provider, validator as well. So you can delegate to them, you can stake to them. And a lot of these sites, one day I'll probably do a YouTube video on the different FTSO providers, different validators, and their apps, their dApps. Some of them have dApps, some of them have websites or dApps with some pretty cool tools. This one is a really cool tool. I've already showed you the Flare oracle.io tool that I use to wrap Delegate, to find the FTSO metrics. FTSO.au obviously has a dApp. We looked at that for staking purposes. Oracle Daemon has a dApp and a website as well. It's moving pretty slow. If it comes up, we'll go over it. But right now it's moving kind of slow. So let me flip back real quick while we wait to that. So it's moving pretty slow. But anyway, all of these FTSO providers, a lot of them have dApps or websites that have different tools and things of that nature to make it very beneficial to, it's value add stuff, right? It's just value add stuff in order to, potentially have you come and delegate and share with them. That site's moving really slow. I was also trying to pull it up on my phone. You can see it's also moving pretty slow on my phone. So right now it's moving slow, or it's my internet. So apologies, but I'll leave a link to that FTSO's site, Flare Oracle Diamond. I'll leave that in the description as well. That way you can go there. You'll see it'll show you the APY, the APR for delegation staking. Oops, that's my alarm to get out of here. Sorry about that. You'll see it'll have the APR, APYs, and if it comes up on my phone, I'll show you too before I log off, for delegation, staking, and also airdrops. And it's pretty cool because it shows you what makes up this sceptre. Let me flip back over to sceptre real quick. It shows you what makes up the estimated APY. Sceptre doesn't make that number up. They get that number from the aggregate of airdrop percentage, which is typically about 26%, staking, which is usually right around 20%, and then the difference, 9%, 8%, something like that, is the delegation APY associated with delegating, the delegating rewards. So that's where they come up with the 49.25% APY estimated, and that number changes. Like, it was 50-some% if you look at my video yesterday. This is the dashboard that they have. So it always will keep you updated on how much sFLR you have. And then if you were to unstake how much you have accrued so far, 29.48, it keeps you updated on the estimated annual percentage yield, the exchange rate, how much one sFLR is compared to one FLR, pricing, number of stakers, etc., stuff like that. Rewards, epochs. Okay, so this is a good little general stat board they have. But just real quickly, I wanted to tell you if a lot of people have some concerns about the 10% fee, because when you unstake, and it says right here, when you unstake from Sceptre or sFLR, there's a 10% fee that they charge you. There's really no need to worry about accruing that fee from my perspective, because I'm going to be able to use my sFLR. I'm going to be able to use it to do anything in the Flare ecosystem that I'm going to do with WFLR, my Wrap FLR. Also, Kinetic is building different apps around sFLR. There's going to be more. There's already, Enosis already has liquidity pools and things of that nature around sFLR. So sFLR will give you the ability to do everything that you're going to be able to do with your other WFLR version of the token. The only difference, one of the biggest differences, is that they're going to automatically claim your airdrop. They're going to automatically claim your delegation rewards, and they're going to automatically claim staking rewards. So you will get staking and delegating as well. And typically, if you just delegate or if you just stake, that's all you get. You don't get both of those, but you're going to be able to get delegation and staking rewards, as well as obviously claim the airdrops. And then you can use those sFLR tokens in the ecosystem. You can use those maybe to provide collateral. I did a video the other day on being a collateral provider, and earning additional fees because you're a collateral provider. So you'll be able to use those sFLR tokens. As you can see, I don't have everything in sFLR. I've got some in sFLR. I've got some delegated. I got some staked. And I have that split up because the sFLR tokens, all right, so this, I guess, would be one of the downsides of Sceptre token. So while your stack is growing, you're still only going to be able to use as much sFLR as you convert it over. So I converted over 29 whatever Flare tokens, and they became 2,900 sFLR. Well, that's the total amount that I'll be able to use, even though I'm growing and stacking more here. Less than 10% fee, I'm still only going to be able to use the sFLR amount. So that is one downside about it. So that's why I don't have everything sFLR. For my son, I converted everything over to his. That way I don't have to worry about doing anything. It's just a stack for him. But that's why I haven't converted everything over. I have some stuff that's still staked, as you can see. I have some stuff still delegated, as you can see. So let me know what questions or comments you have. I'll be happy to answer any. It doesn't look like the Flare Oracle Daemon site yet has come up. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that link in the description for you guys. Let me know what comments, questions you have. Redo this video. Hopefully the audio is working better today. Thanks so much, guys. And I look forward to any questions, comments, feedback on it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.